well, today is the day that we lay fire to the frame, or plasma, whatever how you want to look at it. It's kind of bright. This will be the second time we've ever used this, so hopefully we don't mess things up. We're probably going to catch things on fire, so we had to go buy a fire extinguisher. But we got our Cut 50D here, a little China Gem plasma cutter. And the last time we used it, we ended up cutting the front drive axles out of this thing, because one of the balls had, sockets had come apart and it jammed it. You couldn't turn it. And it wouldn't give, so the front tire would turn. So we had to just torch the whole axle out, pull all that garbage out. And in 2 passes, it cut through that axle, whatever how big it is, bigger than my thumb. And I was impressed. But I've never used one, so I don't know how to compare it to. But what we're going to do, all of these brackets are coming out. We're going to cut all these out. And then we're going to make a front cross member to go in the front. Because we got to cut this main structure out too. But obviously you got to brace up the frame before you cut that one out. What we're going to do, we're going to play around with this for today and cut all of these out. And cut them out on the other side. Hopefully we'll have all this cut out to the point to where we could just be grinding and cleaning it up and prepping it to put the coal mount in here, because we're running coal springs on this thing. So I don't know if I'm going to have to notch the frame for a coal bucket, you know, recess it into the frame, or if it ain't a 30, if it'll come out, the spring will fit flush on the outside of the frame. So if you guys know that, let us know in the comments below on how you did yours with the coal bucket. If it was flat on the frame, or you had to cut a circle in it and put a pipe, cut a notch in the frame. But let's get at it. Woo! Get it off the cord. Alright, so we're back. Recap, that's what we did on day 1 of this day whatever. Anyway, we've cut all the old brackets out of the independent front end. We're going to go on today's going to be probably just a short little video to wrap up the cutout, because we're going to make a brace that goes from here to here, and then get out here and look up. we're going to brace the front across from here to here, and then we're going to cut this whole cross member out right here, which was the lower mount for the A-arms, and the sway bar ties into it too, but we're going to cut all of this out today. So it'll be just a bare frame, no front cross member or stock member, but we'll have our brace member in here. So we got to get our tube, get the frame cleaned up, and get it welded in. Peace. All right, so I got the piece of pipe. This is eventually going to be our suspension links too, but this is the pipe I'm going to use to brace the top of the frame of the frame. I don't know what size it is. Outside diameter, inch and something. And quarter wall, I think it is. So I think it's like a Schedule 40 pipe. And that we're going to put in here. We'll go from here to here as our brace. And we're going to end up measuring the frame. We're going to get the frame level, use our level and the tape measure to make sure the frame is straight before we do any welding and put it in there. So we're going to drag out the cutter, chop saw. We're going to measure out our piece, chop saw the piece out, and then we'll have to set up the welder and get that going. That is 24 inches. We'll cut it at 24, might have to trim it back a little bit. Alright, so we got the member cut. Where'd the member go? Where's the member? We got it beveled. We're going to burn her into the frame right here. And then, so we can, like I said before, cut out that other cross member. But here's our, going to be our front cross member. For now, I'm going to make another one, most likely, that runs right underneath the engine. And it ties the two engine mounts back together. That way we get the frame a little bit more rigid than what it is. I think this right here, once we weld it in, it would be perfect. And we wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. But we're gonna put another one back there, because this one might get in the way of later on and we might have to cut it back out. But I'm hoping we don't. But this is right now is our brace and our front cross member. So let me get geared up here to weld in my shorts. Ready? Alright, there it is. She's all welded in. Got the top part. When we pull this radiator support to change it out because this one's been wrecked. We'll finish welding all that back in, and then there's a couple spots I'm gonna have to clean up because I think my cord on my feed line or whatever you want to call it on my welder is going bad. Because you get it up into a certain, like beyond that point, it doesn't want to feed. It starts jumping out the end. So I think there's a pinch in it somewhere that's keeping it from feeding right. I've been aiming to buy a new one. This was original with the welder, so it's probably time for a new one. And I've changed the lining now too. I know people are going to say, well, just change the lining. I've already done that too. So I don't know. I've adjusted the tension on the wheel up and down, and it doesn't help. So if anybody knows maybe what might be the problem with that, let me know in the comments. We're gonna let Luca start cutting out this bottom piece, get this brake line off, unbolt it, and so all that'll hit the floor. Should be interesting. Hopefully we don't get a fire. See you in a little bit. Alright, well here you go. We put the fender on, measured out our wheelbase at 108.3. We're probably going to make it 108.5 even. Maybe just to see how the wheel travels as it goes up into the fender. See if it gets closer or further away as it comes up, and then we're going to adjust our wheelbase to actually center the wheel under compression load and extension. So we might go forward or aft just a little bit. But there it is, Dana 30 sitting under there. And looks like the dry shaft will hook up if we cut the exhaust off of it. But yeah, I mean, very, very productive and kind of exciting day here in the garage to keep us motivated. As you probably see through the video, if you can see, I'm not concerned about killing it. There's a lot of finish cutting, trimming up, and cleaning the mess up with the plasma cutter to get all these out and get them ground up. Which we're not going to bore you with that. We're just going to end up cutting all this out, grinding it off, same way with down here. And then the next video that we're going to be working on and posting up is actually getting the links made for this. I'm still waiting on the upper links to come in. I ordered these because they were just $109 for a set of links that are adjustable to go from here down to there. So we're going to make those work. Or obviously we're going to make them work, but have them hook into our lower links. In which our lower links we're going to try to use all of Jeep parts to build it, because eventually we're thinking about getting a Dana 44 with all this mountain bracket set up on it. Or cut all this off and put it on a Dana 44 so we can just run a Dana 44 when we find one. And, but right now, you know, there's one of our Facebook groups, people are talking about Dana 30, don't trust them. I don't trust them with big block power and, you know, stuff over 35s. I can break any axle at any given time if I wanted to really try and do it. But this axle was cheap. I think we paid $100 or less for the axle, the way it sits with new brakes and everything. And $45 for the 8.8 axle at a local junkyard on a half-day sale. So all in total between the axles and that, you know, just the two axles alone, we're under $200. So this is what we want to do. Gets me and my son out in the garage to spend time with each other. He really wanted to do it, so we decided to do it, and especially after he wrecked it and messed up the other side. But that's going to be it for now. We've got the Dana 30 under here, spotted the fender on, so we just try to figure out the wheelbase and how the Dana 30 looked under there, and it actually, I'm starting to love it more and more myself. Solid axle is the way to go, just by the looks and the stance it's going to come out with. And show you something else we got. We actually got the coils for it. Which we might have got too big of a coil. Because this is about rod height. No, it's not. This is a couple inches. Rod height back there is a 12 and a quarter, and this is 14 and a half, I think. So we're a little over 2 inches taller right here. So this will come down about 2 inches, and then hopefully it'll compress back up 2 inches. But we've already got our frame mounts for the coil brackets. They're inside the house. They're a weld-on bracket with adjustable bolt holes in it, and it's from Ballistic Fab. So once we start showing those parts off, we'll put all the links in below. These came off of eBay, so not really a link for them. I'll give a description on what they are. We get the Rubicon Express 4.5 inch for this axle came out of a Jeep Grand Cherokee 94. So these are Rubicon Express lift springs for those 4.5 inches. So that's what we got. We can turn you around and show you the front ends cut out. All the brackets are cut out over there. And I talked about this in the video. We'll make sure this goes in the video, and we might do a separate video on this later. But this has been our workhorse. This is like literally 20 minutes that bracket was on the ground. That front frame was on the ground 20 minutes. Yeah, it's probably less than that. I'm not sure on the time. We wasn't really timing it, but it was quick. We finally got it dialed in on the power settings and pressure, air pressure to blow out the slag. And Luca, he was just, I mean, you can go over and look at how clean the cuts were. Just cut right here. But there it is, Data 30 under there, sitting on jack stands, like we promised. So we're going to get out of here, clean up the garage, like, share, subscribe. And stay tuned to this one, because the fun starts about to happen is when we start designing the front end for this and the links, which we've never done it before. We've been doing a lot of research on the internet. It doesn't look that hard, but we might goof it up on the process. But peace out. See you later. Thanks for watching.